You're listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting from the Bishop West Real Estate Mobile Tower right here in actually St. James City, but broadcasting from Northport, uh, Florida. It's a beautiful day, great water out here. St. James City is rebuilding. We've been down here twice now, and I got to tell you, Matt Lachey doesn't look like Matt Lachey anymore. The people down here are steadfast, and they are really working hard to get their community rebuilt and put back together again. Hopefully, one day we will have a new Matt Lachey and a rejuvenated Matt Lachey. So, anybody who's been to Fort Myers, please take a look at the Matt Lachey area and understand it's pretty much mission critical here too for survival and what they're getting here, and the efforts are outstanding. And I was out last night listening to a musician play at Froggy's. I will tell you that Froggy's is up and running and much better than it was prior to. But the spirits in St. James City are strong, and just keep prayers out there for anybody who needs it. And everybody, spirits high. I'm going to slide into Northport High School theater program, which is an outstanding program. I've been part of it for years. I had a son that went through. You know, amazing opportunities for the youth in our area to take advantage of Northport High School. And I've got a very special guest and a really dear friend in the house, DENA Henderson. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
So
excited to have this opportunity.
How are things going at the high school?
They're going pretty well. You know, it's just like, you know, we had some damage and from that storm and all, but things have slowly gotten fixed and are looking great. And we've been able to, you know, continue on with our things we do here at school that make our school year exciting for our students and stuff. And so, you know, it feels now to us like a minor blimp, you know, in the process of the year. But we're at that point where it's our final show of the year, our musical, and we're really excited about what we're doing and all the hard work, and we're ready to just show everybody what talent we have.
And explain the show that you have going on.
Okay.
A little bit, and because everybody kind of knows a little bit about this show.
Yeah, I mean, there is a movie version. Yep. There was first a Broadway version. It's called Mamma Mia. Music and lyrics by Benny Anderson and Bjorn Ulvaeus, and some songs by Stig Anderson, a book by Katherine Johnson. I have to say those kinds of things that give credit to the creators. It was originally a West End musical, then it went to Broadway. I had the delight of seeing it on Broadway. Was honestly one of the best experiences I've had seeing a show. It was just so much fun and all. And so it was exciting when they made it into a movie. The movie is very campy and fun. And of course, it's all that great. If you like ABBA, this is your show. I mean, it's all the music. It's a jukebox musical. So it's all the musical of from the group ABBA, and has been developed into a storyline. And, you know, jukebox musicals sometimes work very well, and sometimes they're kind of, you know, too focused on just the songs. I think they managed to come up with a great storyline, and so the songs all work pretty well within the show. So this group of students, I've done jukebox musicals in the past, but this group of students hasn't done one. So it's been a great opportunity for them to experience that kind of musical. We try to do different things and give them different experiences.
And so would you like to take a second and introduce?
I would love to. We have so much talent here. And when we went to doing the show, I had probably the worst time casting a show ever, just because there were so many people. So what we decided to do was to add a production. And so we have 4 performances instead of 3, and I double cast the main female roles. And so these are both of my Donnas and both of my Sophies from the show. So Donna is the mother in the story, and they're played by Emily McKelvey right
All
there,
right.
and Gabby Battiata on the side of me. And then my Sophies are played by Kylie Staub and Julia Fritz.
Awesome. And you had a little talk before we got on air, and you've got a little treat for us, don't you?
Yeah, I my at least my Sophies, they're going to do it together, I think, but my Sophies have agreed to sing with for us today.
All right.
So we might even move out of the way and let them be front and center to do that.
Why don't
Whenever
why
we're
don't we
ready.
kick this conversation off with a song?
Okay, that sounds good. This
Awesome.
is a song actually from the very beginning of the show. It's called I Have a Dream. And it's when Sophie's looking out, waiting on things to begin. Her wedding's coming up, and she's sending some letters off to three guys that she believes one of them might be her dad. And so she's kind of dreaming about knowing more about who she is and that sort of thing through that process. And that's where the show starts. So they're just going to do it a cappella, but because it's a lot easier this way and all. So we're going to move out of the way and let them move up front.
Awesome. So this is a show that's coming up soon. They're sliding out of the way to getting prepared, and we don't get to hear live singing on the show very often. So let's have a treat. Both of you introduce yourselves, please.
Okay. They're actually going to play music. So.
All right.
Oh, hi, my name is Julia Fritz.
And I'm Kylie Staub.
All right. Well, how about it, you guys? Let's hear it. Let's hear you do it.
I have a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. If you see the wonder of a fairy tale, you can take the future, even if you fail.
All right. Very good. So the listening audience out there, give some thumbs up to these guys. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can share this information. We're going to talk a little bit more about the show. It's great to have the interaction with the students and have a little slice of the live performance that's coming up. DENA, will you tell us a little bit about the show and where people could get tickets?
Tickets, you can get them at our box office, which is open 10 during the weekdays, Monday through Thursday, from 10 to 1. But you can also get them online, which means you don't have to wait in a line. And if you go to our website, www.nphstheater.net, okay, and it's theater with an R-E. Then you can click right on that front page. You'll see our poster, an ad, and a thing that says tickets online. Or if you go to production info, you'll see the poster and a tickets online. If you click on the tickets online, it takes you to a separate website. It's basically the school store kind of thing, but you can buy your tickets online. So that makes it, a lot faster. You're not having to wait in a line when you get here because it can get long out there, The show is April 14th, 15th, and 16th. There's a show the 14th at 7 p.m. There are two shows on the 15th, a matinee at 1 and a show at 7. And then on the 16th, there's another matinee at 3 p.m.
Awesome. And, as you said, you're kind of doing this as a 4 run versus a 3 run. And what's the importance of that again?
Well, because we double cast it. And even though like Emily and Gabby are taking turns playing Donna, They're also ensemble when they're not being Donna. So they're still in the show, which means there was a lot they had to learn and stuff. And that gives them the opportunity to do the show 4 times, but then they take turns playing the Donna part. And so it gives them each a chance to be, because I couldn't pick between them. I was to the point of putting names in a bag and pulling one out. I mean, I just was like, so I had this idea, I think this will be a popular show. I think the tickets will sell. I think people are it's a fun show. I think people are going to recognize it from the movie. The movie very well follows the stage version. And so I felt like, why just pick one over the other? Why not give them both the opportunity and just add an extra show so they each get 2 shows?
So I want to talk a little bit about the importance of the community embracing Northport theater and these performances and what it means for you guys within your school year.
Well, it is much better as a performer, and anybody performing anything, whether you're just someone up singing, a comedy act, whatever your performance kind of thing is, it's so much more enjoyable. It's so much easier to really get up there and be in the moment when you've got a full crowd out there watching you. And a lot of people taking the experience with you, because that's really what an audience should. You come into theater, and that's the difference between like live theater and movie and TV and stuff, is that you get to take the journey with the characters on stage. You get to live those moments with them. And it's so much better when you've got a full house. And I just feel like Northport High School is a gem. It is a gem in our community in the sense that there is so much going on here constantly. There are so many opportunities. Sometimes I hear people even say, there's nothing in Northport. Yeah, there is. There's Northport High School. There are concerts that go on here. There are band concerts. And our percussion line has a show coming up that they do every year that's phenomenal. And these musicals and plays that we do, and people talk about giving to youth. The best thing you could give to these kids is your time. Money is great. Don't get me wrong. We all can use money to buy costumes, buy things, but how we pay for each show is the money we earn off the show we just did. Everything has to keep, covering the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. The best thing people could do is buy a ticket and come to one of these performances at least. Personally, I'd come to 2, come see each cast, but come and see the performances and embrace these kids in your community. This is what they need. They need your time. They need to just show up.
And talk a little bit about how that affects you as a teacher within the organization. The money that you're raising, it really does change how you guys manage what you're doing.
Oh yeah, it changes what we can do and can't do. Some shows, some things we choose to do are more expensive, and sometimes I have to say, even though I've got the right cast for that show, I can't do that because it's going to cost too much for us to do it. So selling out something like Mamma Mia puts money not only for that, but also to cover other things. We go to the Florida Theater Conference every year. We go to the State Thespian Festival where these kids perform and stuff. If we make more money, then we can cover more for the kids. We don't have to, go asking other entities. We can just cover things for ourselves if we have it in our funds because we've sold out our shows. This is our fundraiser. Doing a show is our fundraiser for everything. And it would be nice if that was our only fundraiser and we didn't have to sell popcorn and some of the other things we've done this year.
And I want to stick there for a second because the key to what you just said is everybody's trying to raise money.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to sell something. Everybody's trying to do certain things to bring money into their program.
Right.
One of the nice things about theater is if everybody would just come out and watch a show, the fundraising kind of could be
just happen.
Yeah, it's really part of giving back to your community, being part of the show, being part of future
Yeah.
performers out there somewhere, and I want to hit on the few students that you have. Show of hands. Actually, just say yes. How many of you are planning on going on with theater?
Yes.
So that was all four.
Yeah.
Okay. You've had very good success having other students in the past
Yes.
who have come through the program and have gone on to either do performing arts or even backstage and different things like that.
Right.
Can you talk about this group that you have now and where you see the group expanding Northport High School theater program as a whole, like the other students did?
Yeah. Well, through the years I've had different ones, and it was kind of funny because we were just at the State Thespian Festival, and I walked into the vendor room, and it's a room where they sell scripts, they sell other kinds of theater goodies and t-shirts and things like that. Colleges are there that the kids can go and talk to the colleges and stuff. And then there are companies with like lighting equipment, stage makeup, that sort of stuff. And some of that's aimed more at the teachers and stuff. So I walked into the room and I was really going to look at scripts because I usually buy some scripts for our script library while I'm there. And I walked in and I heard a scream, "Miss Henderson!" And this young woman who I had a number of years ago in theater came running over. And she's working for one of the lighting companies as a salesman selling lighting equipment stuff. She actually went to college for hospitality management, but just still did a minor in theater. And then, COVID happened. She lost her job she was working for one lighting company, and this guy saw her talent and snatched her up, and he's an engineer who started his own company building his own lights and stuff. And so she convinced him to come there because she wanted to run into me and Mr. Oliver. so, sometimes there's people I don't even know about. So there's that was Samantha Lancaster that we ran into. And then, we've got quite a few out there. And now that we're really BPA and able to do these classes the way we've always wanted to, and kids are in here multiple periods and that sort of thing, we see more and more kids who are growing and leaving and going to college, sometimes straight into the professional world, but most of them are going to college programs and stuff to pursue musical theater, tech theater, that sort of thing. And that's really what our focus is making sure they have the experiences that make them competitive in getting into these programs.
How many students are involved in the theater program today at the school?
I think my current number is close to 80.
Is that higher than we've been in the past?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, we used to run around 60. Now we run between 80 and 100, depending on a given year, depending on how many kids are in.
Did you see that coming?
Not really. Not really. I didn't really think we would, wasn't sure if we would ever bump up that high.
So who do you have sitting? Who do you have sitting next to you? Off to your right.
So this here, yep. This is Emily.
Yep. Emily. So can you turn the camera just a little bit towards Emily?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So I got the two beauties in the background. They're smiling too much back there. So, Emily, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in the play.
My name's Emily. I'm 17. I'm a junior here. I do a lot in the school. I'm in a lot of different clubs. I'm in the ACE program. And I've been in the theater program all throughout high school. And I really want to do it like as a profession, musical theater specifically. I played Donna, it's like, I didn't think that I wanted to be Donna until like halfway into the audition process. I wasn't even going to try for it. And then I just kind of was on a whim. I was like, why not? And I ended up getting one of them. This is a lot of fun in a sense that it's different from any other show that I've ever done, because I've never been double casted before, so I get to see both sides of it. Yeah. I love being in the ensemble because I get to be in a lot more scenes dancing wise. And then when I'm done, I get to really like express the acting side that I really enjoy of theater. You know, sometimes like with different parts, you don't get the opportunity to do all three. And in this show, I do. And yeah, that's why it's so close and dear to my heart.
Well, I'd have to say that at a lot of shows, you don't ever get that opportunity
Right.
that you're getting on this particular show because you're double cast, right?
Right. Because we're double cast, we have to learn probably twice as many things as we would normally. So, like, Gabby and I are learning all of the solos, duets, all of our lines. And then we're like, okay, in this scene, we come in over here. But on this night, we come in over here. And we have to like, kind of keep everything in different parts of our brains to, you know, try to keep it the same. We're learning two different parts of different dances. But it's a great learning experience. I've never gotten this opportunity before, and it's really great.
That's awesome. So when you're focused on keeping your dances separated, will anybody ever know if you made a mistake?
Well, I
Besides your counterparts in the theater, I bet
hope
no one
not.
in the audience would.
I think the only people who would is probably my family because I'm constantly like at home like running through it, and you know my siblings, I make them like look at it and like tell me, hey, does this look good? I make them do that, so they might catch it, but I don't think they would. I hope not. But it's also helpful that Gabby and I are partners in the duet parts of the dances, so we don't have to switch for that. And when in some of the other dances, we do have to swap depending on who we're with, but for at least one or two of them, we do get to be with each other. So that's like a fun little like moment between the two of us that we wouldn't get the opportunity to do otherwise.
And I'll tip your hand. Nobody in the crowd knows unless you react a different way, and you know that as the professional you're trying to become. That as long as you stay within your character, you're nobody's going to know the difference. But the work ethic that you have to show is at an all-time high too, right?
Yes. It's not only trying to like learn our lines, learn our songs, learn everything, but it's also like trying to like keep up the chemistry that we're having to do with all of the different people. You know, I might have a certain reaction as Donna that I would not have in the ensemble. So I have to like definitely work on like building my emotion over here instead of over here. And it's sometimes they get jumbled up in my head, but like we've been doing pretty good about keeping them separate. But the like intensity of like our focus has to be so strong. And especially with like school and everything, it just, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question. You seem like a pretty confident person anyway, but has the theater program giving you more confidence when it comes to just being out front and maybe a leader of the group?
Yes. And I say that because a lot of my friends are in theater. So when we get so close with each other over the years, you know, we're genuinely like a family here. And so, you know, I feel much more comfortable with them. And sometimes I forget people outside of this theater don't know us as well. So I just act the same and it comes off as more confident, like you said. And like I'm not afraid to ask questions in class because I can just ask questions here whenever I need to. And other students I feel who aren't in theater don't always have that personality. Is that the right word? Personality? When it comes to that. But I think being in this program, it really does add a lot of confidence. It helps you get outside of your box. I was not the way that I am before I was in the program. And I think it helps like shape you as like we're growing up in this like weird lives.
You're definitely taking on some different responsibilities than you would if you were not in theater. Learning these multiple lines and doing different things, and then learning. The biggest thing is learning to share a key role. The fact that you're learning to share a key role with someone else is also a different challenge than most people ever have.
Right. I think that's the hardest part about this show is that we have to like we have to learn the same thing and then make it our own. And I love working with Gabby. I got really lucky that she's my counterpart and we're very close, and so we get to do this together and then we get to make it our own. And that's probably it is the hardest, but it's also the most fun part about this show, is that we get to have that counterpart. And if I'm over here and I'm like, okay, what do we do about this song? She has an idea, and like vice versa, like we're always helping each other out. And so
That's awesome.
it's nice to like not be alone in that part.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, it was nice talking with you. I'm going to slide over and talk to Gabby now, and then I'm going to get the two in the back with her. I love their excitement in the back, by the way. So, Gabby, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. So, how does it feel to share with your partner the lead role position?
It's great. It feels like a little bit less of a not responsibility, but it's nice to have someone to share it with. It's less pressure because you can, collaborate on things. And like she said, if I'm unsure of what to do at one part, I'm like, okay, well, what should we do? Like, and I feel like it's a unique experience to be able to do that, because usually you're the only one. You have to figure out things for yourself, but there's still a bit of a separation because we can do what we want, but we can still do like similar things, So it's nice to have someone to collaborate with in that way. It's very unique to a double cast.
So let's hear a little bit about you.
Okay, so I'm 18 and I'm a senior. So this is my last performance, my last role. I get to go out with a bang. Mamma Mia is my favorite show. So I'm very excited. Yeah, it's basically my first lead in a musical for certain, for sure. So I'm excited about that. And I missed a little bit of my high school experience because of COVID. So I was online for a whole year. I didn't get to do theater for my entire sophomore year. So, I didn't get to do that musical either. So I missed out on that. So I feel happy that I get to go out with a bang and really do one last, role.
And I'm going to stick here for a second, because with the COVID being part of your high school experience, with the way we've had to deal with that as a country, we lost a whole year of exposure to different things that we normally would have had. How does it feel to kind of be able to, I want to call it, fight back a little bit, because you had to, you've got one less year that you've kind of had to fight through. How does that make you feel now that you're, I think, more empowered because it's your senior year, you're hitting a star role, and on top of that, you're learning how to share that star role. How's that empowered you?
Well, it was a lot to go back into theater after not doing it for a whole year, because that was the longest I'd ever gone without doing something theater related. So, it feels great to be able to, come back into it. And, I had my junior year where I really like fell into it. But, I was just getting used to it then and being back in the scene. So now it's great that I can just, hit it hard on Mamma Mia, and, it feels great. I'm very relieved that I'm back into it.
Do you think that you're going to go on to college and do something in theater?
Yes, I plan on majoring in it. I just have to decide where I'm going. So,
where's your lead spot right now?
I'll probably be going to Lynn University in Boca Raton to do an acting BFA program, and also do the musicals there as well, because you can do both.
Okay.
So I might do that. And if I don't go there, then I'll go to UCF.
UCF. Very good.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, with having college as a good focus, is theater, has theater helped keep you focused on the college goal?
Yes, very much so. I feel like I looked at the colleges I looked at, and then I, also discounted many if they didn't have like solid theater programs. So I knew that was my priority when looking for a good school, and considering the schools, I wanted to make sure that they had a strong program and that they really valued the arts at whichever school I looked at.
That's
so it
awesome.
was the most important thing when I was picking a college.
So did your mom and dad, are they very involved in helping you kind of plot your course?
Yes, they're very supportive. They're very supportive in the theater.
And I gotta throw DENA in there. You feel like you have support within the teaching staff at Northport High School to
Yes,
help drive you the right direction?
very much so. I text Miss Henderson all the time to ask her questions. Or, I'm constantly bugging her, asking her questions about everything. So, and I always value her opinions.
So in the whole group, how many are there's 4 of you in this group right now? How many of you are seniors? Just you, or are there
Just me.
just you? So
the 4, yes.
of the 4, yeah.
Yeah.
So the beauty in what you just did is you broke some more ice for them for next year. Because it only gets better each and every year, and the longer you stay within theater and the more that you do within theater, the more opportunities that open up. Do you and based on what you've said, now you've gone from a non-lead role to a lead role. Don't you feel like the more you've stayed with it, opportunities have opened up?
Yes, definitely. It's as you keep doing it, you get more confident as you get older. So, you're usually, not all the time, but sometimes you're more prepared and more confident going into those lead roles once you've had those previous experiences doing the other parts.
So there, I ask her, Emily, correct? I want to say Emily, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep all the names right here as I go. But Emily, I asked her if she's gained confidence, and there's a reason I asked this question. But I want to know: have you gained confidence being part of theater?
Definitely. I think it's probably the main thing that gives me confidence, because I can be a very anxious and not very confident person sometimes. But I think theater, at least when I'm on like the stage or performing, I'm quite confident. So I think that it helps to boost my confidence on and off stage.
Awesome. Well, DENA, I'm going to slide back to our 2 smiley faces back there. And I once again, they did not let me down. So I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. So you can pick and choose who wants to go first. Go ahead.
Go, Julia.
Hi, my name is Julia.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm 17. I'm also a junior here. I'm in many other clubs as well, and the ACE program, and I've done theater for the last 3 years, and I think like 1 year in middle school, but I don't really know what I was doing.
Okay. So you're kind of feeling newer to theater?
Yeah, more towards like the beginning of high school is when I really started to get into it, but I was in like other types of performing arts when I was younger, like dance and orchestra and choir.
Okay. How is that fit into what you're doing now within the theater itself?
Well, I felt like my whole life I was trying to do different activities, but none of them like lasted that long because I just didn't feel connected to it. But when I started theater in high school, I felt really connected to it, and I managed to like stay in it for a long time. And every single day, it's like the one thing I look forward to, and I finally feel like I found like my passion.
Do you feel like you've opened up doorways to friendships?
I do. This group that I'm friends with in theater is probably the closest group of friends that I've ever had, and like being outside of theater in like all my classes, like I don't care what happens if someone's mean or if someone like I'm just too scared to do anything because I'm afraid of being judged. I know I have a group of people to fall back on and just always have at my side because they're always there for me.
Well, I like what you said about being judged. I want to stay there just for a second because, for a long time, theater kids, always got identified. Oh, you're a theater kid, you know. The other thing I heard was there's a kind of a family feel to this, right?
Yes, definitely.
So do you feel like even if somebody were to pick on you, you kind of can hold your own ground now because there's more people involved in theater at the school than ever before? It kind of gives you a good anchor, and I want to know if it gives you the strength to kind of power through anything that gets in your way.
Yeah, I it helps create kind of a barrier of just like I don't really care what anyone else thinks because I know that there's a group of people that know me well enough that like I don't have to worry about other people's opinions if they're negative.
Yeah, well, no, I like how you said that because when you're performing, sometimes you battle through some of the negative feedback that you have to take to become a better actress, right?
Yes,
And so you get positive feedback from Mrs. Henderson. You get a little bit of critical feedback, I'm sure, at times too, don't you?
definitely.
Listen, I know her. She's critical of me. I'm going to get critiqued after I get off the air, I'm sure. So I know it's coming. But I'm going to ask you the same question. Your confidence level now that you're within theater, do you feel like it's growing, or do you feel like it's just where you were when you started?
I think it's definitely growing. It's easier to like it helped within like the communication sense. Like I could easily go up to somebody now and like start a conversation and become friends with them because we do lots of activities like towards the beginning of the year, different types of icebreaker activities, which we have to talk to maybe some kids that are new to theater or just joining, and we have to just talk to them and play games with them. So it kind of builds off of that where in my regular classes I can just go up to someone and be like, hey, how are you, and just befriend people easier.
Awesome. That's great. So your friend next to you, I'm going to let her kind of finish with the four of you. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Kylie Staub. I am 16. I'm a sophomore here at Northport High School. I'm involved in the ACE program and also like a lot of things in the theater troupe. And I am one of the Sophies as well as Julia. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
So I'm gonna stop you right there because you said I don't think we have in the group. Do we have anybody else as part of the ACE program in the group?
No, they all are.
Everybody is. Okay.
Yeah.
Did everybody?
I would say close to 85% of the students in my VPA theater programs are in ACE.
So tell the listening audience what an ACE program is.
Here, I'll come back to me real quick and then I'll go back to her. ACE Cambridge program is an advanced studies program. Students complete their goal if they're going to get they can just take ACE classes without working for the diploma. But if they get the ACE diploma, it means that when they go for their bright futures, they don't have to have a certain SAT or ACT score if they have those 7 ACE Cambridge things. They are advanced classes, mainly lining up with their academic classes, things like ACE General Paper, which is an English class, ACE Environmental Science, ACE Psych. You know, there's all kinds of courses, and then they get college credit for them. So when they go to college, they already have their English credits taken care of and things like that. Fantastic. So it's a very well respected program taught in a lot of schools across Florida and stuff. And the Heron Creek across the street has the middle school version of it. And I know several of the elementary schools have the elementary level program of it, but it's advanced, upper level studies and stuff. They're taught very much like a college class.
Awesome. So. Well, I appreciate that because I'm going to slide back to her. So, I'm glad that you threw that in there because there's some importance of having that next level of I think pressure put on you, and I say that because a student that goes to school that doesn't have to work as hard because it comes easy, uh, you're not being challenged as much either, I don't think. So, do you think these ACE programs are challenging you to do more?
I definitely think they are. They are like a lot of the teachers push us to like do better, and it definitely has helped me like grow what I learn. Because it is challenging. It's not just like a class where you can just it's just like a breeze where you're not like because I think with every class there's points where some things are easier and other things are more challenging. And so I definitely think that all of the ACE classes in the ACE program definitely have those challenging moments in the class that help to like push you, which I think also helps pertain to theater because it helps me like push myself further when I'm doing a performance. So I think that definitely it can be challenging at times, but overall, I think it's beneficial.
See, and I'm looking at you as a sophomore, and out of the group, you're the youngest one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you said that. You said that with a smile too. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
here's the beauty in that though is that you've got three good supporting members around you right now that I think you're gaining a lot of confidence just from having them around, aren't you?
Definitely. So these three are like some of my closest friends that they actually like will help me through definitely like different things. Like they can help me through any situation, I feel. And they're people that I can lean back on and like trust. And I feel like they help me grow as a person. So
So you use the word trust, and you said that really with good, strong confidence. Okay, so I want you to talk as a sophomore about why that word that you said with such emphasis. Okay, um, why is that word important for you?
during this time in high school, there's definitely times that it can be hard with other people and trying to be accepted by other people and not be judged by other people. And having people that you can kind of trust is very important because having friendships with people that you can trust can like those friendships can last literally a lifetime. And making those connections and friendships is super important, I feel, because they are going to help you through your life. And I feel like I've made those connections and I've been able to trust people throughout this program and that I will have friendships to last a lifetime.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you, you will. I already know that. I've seen it happen over and over and over again now since I met Dina. How many years ago was that, Dina?
Um, let's see. Probably about 21 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's scary. Um, because I'm adding 21 years to myself. I can't go backwards on my age, but I wish I could. But you've been a critical part of so many people at the high school level, and you just told a story about one of your students being out there. How many students do we actually have with out there still working within the theater and as a whole? I'm whether it's community theater. I mean, do we even track that number really anymore?
You know, I know the ones who've kept up with me. There are others that have not necessarily kept up. So, you know, I'm not entirely sure what the number is. I just know from the ones who've kept in touch. I mean, you
But
know,
there's a lot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we have I have one actually that's coming down in May to do workshops with our students, um, and all. You know, your son, of course, who's off doing his MFA right now, in theater and stuff
Yep.
and working professionally. I've got one up in Chicago. There's one who does film and television. There's another one who does more back production assistance and that sort of thing with TV and film. But she's also written a screenplay that was made into a movie and won some awards and stuff. And there's, oh goodness, one that's a equity stage manager. Samantha that we ran into there again. That was one I didn't even know about, so I add that one to the list.
Well, the funny
one
thing
that
is,
runs the Charlotte PAC in Port Charlotte at the Charlotte High School.
look at the
Chris is
diversity
down there, so
look at the
so
diversity that you're talking about
yeah.
within theater. You're not,
Well,
you're
you
really
know,
not talking about lead actresses and lead actors somewhere.
no, not across the board, because you know, I tell everyone, I said, you know, sometimes I've had people say, well, you know, yeah, get a theater degree, but get a backup. I say the theater degree is the backup. A degree is a degree, and you could do any number of things with it. And people don't realize, they think every kid's just going to go be a starving actor at a cattle call, waiting tables at Olive Garden in Times Square. And I'm like, you know, there's so, the entertainment world encompasses so much. There are so many different ways you can make a living in this business.
Absolutely.
And I tell these guys all the time, you know, Broadway's a great dream, and there's nothing wrong with going for that dream. But if you just end up a working actor and you can make a living in this business, acting and doing stuff behind the scenes or whatever, then you're successful. You know, it's not an all or nothing. You know, no, I don't tell any kid you're going to go become a $20 million a film movie actor. That could happen to someone, but you know, it also, you could also just make a living and enjoy your life doing something you love, and that's okay too, and that's still success.
So we've got a big show coming up.
Yep.
And I want to stop and tell these guys real quick. The reason I kept asking you how you gained confidence and really seeing your answers and listening to what you're saying and just hearing words, the trust, the different things like that, the confidence within the group, the confidence within the program. Really, you're breaking down barriers for other people who are going to listen to this to understand that theater is a welcoming place. It is also a place that if you at all feel a lack of confidence, if they hang out with you at all, they're going to find out. They're going to be like injected with confidence. So I give kudos to each and every one of you for answering the questions. I really appreciate you being part of the show. I'm going to tell you that up front. I love having the students on. Please share this video. Please support these guys. They do a great job. They do a lot of work to get the show at a ready go level.
That's our set behind us.
That's fantastic. I'm glad we were let me put it back up there again. Well, and you can see parts of the set
and stuff. Yeah.
And it's really cool that we're able to do this now. So if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, please share this. If you're listening on the radio, go to Realtalk 97.5 FM on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, and really just get it out there and support this group of people. Carol Speckman, that's my mom, by the way, said, "Break a leg, ladies."
Thank you.
You know, it's. I wonder, is that theater talk?
Yes, that is theater talk.
I knew that. So talk about the price and where they can get tickets again, please.
Adult tickets are $12. Student tickets, which is any student who is 7 to 18, is $5, and 6 and under is free, although this is probably more of a show for teens and adults and all. And they can get them at the box office. Once again, box office is open Monday through Thursdays, 10 to 1, or you can get them online. If you go to www.nphstheater.net, it's theater with an RE.net, and click on tickets online, and that'll take you to a spot where you can buy them online.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you brought your favorite actress with you. Which one is it?
They're all my favorites.
See, I also knew that was going to be the answer too. 21 years of the same answer, by the way, just so you guys know that. You know, she always gives the same answer. And when you guys go to college and you come back, you're going to be the same person you were when you left. And they're all going to be new favorites out there, just so you know. You know, I got to tell you, the experiences we've had within the theater program at Northport and the experiences that you guys have had. Someone pick this real quick. Anybody raise their hand? Who wants a question? Who wants a question? All right, there we go.
I like talking.
You like questions? Here's your Q&A.
Okay.
What would you do if you didn't have the theater? I'm asking for a reason. Think about that now. Think if you didn't have theater and you were in school, what would your life be like?
Well, honestly, I probably just kind of like day by day, like do my work, like at school, go home, maybe like be more involved in like the clubs that I'm already in, like NHS, you know, things like that. Maybe I'd take more ACE classes than I already do. I really don't, it's been such like a big part of my life that, and like for like as long as I can remember that, like I've never really had like a oh, if I wasn't in theater, like I'd do this. Like I've never really had that. It's just such like a big part of it. Like,
so here's my trick question for you now. What did it feel like to be asked that question? Did it feel like a thud happened just now?
a little bit. I get asked that sometimes, especially by like other family members. They're like, well, if you don't make it, what are you going to do? Like, well, I don't really have a backup plan, so I hope I make it, because I don't really have a backup. I don't view myself doing anything else. This is what makes me happy. I have a job and I love doing my job, but I also consider this a job. Like this is a job in itself, and I don't view myself doing anything else, because this is what makes me truly happy. Like I have my people here, and these are like, this is like,
What do I tell everybody when they leave high school they should do?
keep in
find-
contact.
And go find your
home, go find your family,
go find
go
your
find your
happiness.
happiness.
Well, and the reason I ask it like I did, and we've only got a couple minutes left, but truthfully, if anybody was watching you and watching the first part of the interview, they saw excitement. The minute that I took that away from you,
I got so
no
scared.
excitement.
It was
There
panic.
was no excitement.
I
And,
got so
and
scared.
here's why I'm bringing it up. And I want you guys to remember this, and I want the listening audience to remember this. Kids stay in school, kids have drive, and kids have focus because they're doing what they love. And that's why Sarasota pushes really hard to keep arts in our high schools and in our schools. And there's a huge, huge product within the theater programs throughout Sarasota County and Charlotte County that we have to support. And the way to support them is to come buy a ticket. And if you want her smiling like she was early in the program, come out and see her perform like the rest of those smiles back there.
Yeah.
And next time we go to vote, remember when they talk about the arts, the answer is yes. So keep that in mind. And the reason that I ask you that tough question is your reaction told everything to everyone that they need to know about why you're excited about theater. Okay? Because that was a true reaction that everyone got. Okay? So keep that in mind.
I was just so scared.
That is true. But guess what? You're never that scared on stage, are you?
No, actually. No.
See? There you go. So the fear's gone as long as you're doing what you love. So you guys enjoy yourself. Have a great show. Break a leg.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
DENA, I'm glad we got together again and did the show.
Yeah. Thank you
All
for
right.
doing this.
You're welcome. This is John Rawlings with Real Talk Radio saying thanks. Have a great day and enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye.